Who is that handsome dude? Barry, I love that. Welcome.
Oh, it's so good to be with you, Charlie, once again.
You too. You have an introduction. Ready?
Yeah.
Once in a lifetime as an actor, you might get lucky and get a hit movie. But Barry hit the jackpot with being in the most recognizable movie of all time, Grease, playing Duty, one of the T-Birds. Trained at Carnegie Mellon University, he has a resume as long as my arm, from film to TV, Broadway, and national tours. I don't think there's a show that Barry hasn't been in yet. We've toured together and been on Broadway together in the musical The Producers, and I'm thrilled to have Barry on the show today. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Barry Pearl.
Oh, Charlie, it's an honor to be here with you. You say that my resume is as long as your arm. Well, folks, that Charlie is a dancer, first of all, an amazing dancer. With, if you would have said that the resume was as long as your legs, then that's long.
Oh, Barry. Look, I dressed up for you.
I see.
I've got my Sandy jacket on.
Yes, you do. How spectacular, with studs and everything.
Yeah,
My
this is what they gave us in the first in British National Tour.
Got it. So was that like swag, or is that something that you wore in the show?
This was my finale jacket.
Got it. Got it.
It's show and tell. Show me your duty. I'll show you my Sandy.
Fabulous. Fabulous. I actually have my jacket from the movie.
Well, you know what? That was one of the questions that Truly Scrumptious asked you. Louisa said, do you still have your jacket?
I do. I do. Yes, I do. I had been given it when we did the press tour. They sent us out in groups. I think Dee Dee went out by herself, but Dinah and I toured. We did 16 cities in 11 days. It was crazy.
Wow.
And in each city, you know, we do press. We do print and radio and television. And it was weird, or wild, I should say, because, you know, you're repeating yourself all the time. And I used to say that I cut my comedic teeth on the Three Stooges. And, you know, in the movie, it's really an homage to the Three Stooges. The three of us, Sonny, Duty, and Putsy, were like Moe, Larry, and Curly.
Yeah.
And so I would say this in all these interviews. Well, by the time we got into the latter cities, Dinah would steal it and say, oh, by the way, Barry cut his teeth. His comedic teeth on the Three Stooges, you know.
You're like, anyhow, that's my line.
That's right. So I had my jacket and my pants and my sneakers from that, and kept my jacket and my sneakers. So I still have those. Actually. I bring them occasionally to autograph signing shows. And if you saw Grease live, that Dee Dee and I had done, we take our bows. It was my idea to take our bows in our jackets. I can barely fit into it, you know. But for that moment, I was able to do it.
That's fantastic, Barry. Yes, for those that are tuning in from England and around the world, was it on Fox? Did I get it right?
Yes,
Fox
did. Yes.
They do a live production of certain musicals, and I think Grease has been the most.
It has been pretty much the most successful one. We had Hairspray, which was very good. The Rent was great. Jesus Christ Superstar was
Sound
great.
of Music.
Yeah, and I think Grease was the first to incorporate a live audience.
Yes,
which
it was.
It makes so much sense, because you're trying your best to replicate live theater, and that the previous two, Sound of Music and one other, gosh, why is it escaping me at the moment?
Yeah.
They didn't have that element. Oh, I think it was Peter Pan.
Yes, that's right, Peter Pan.
And I think it suffered because of it.
Yeah.
Still, there's nothing like live theater, and we miss it so especially during this time.
I know, Barry.
All shut down, but you know, it's a very special experience. So I think that they've done their very best, I think, with these latter live musicals to replicate it as best they can, and to introduce theater. I mean, through television to folks that have maybe even never seen live theater. You know, it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
It's a really good thing. When it's done really well, it's a really good thing. And Grease was done so well. I think it was exciting for the next one to come along. Whereas sometimes I think the audiences may have been a bit, oh, it's another musical.
Yes.
But Grease definitely was, you know, put it on the map for Jesus Christ Superstar, I think, which came next, which was, you know, phenomenal. So, yeah.
And Rent, too, was just terrific.
Amazing. Gosh, Barry, your career is like, it's, I mean, your resume, this is his resume. It's like, It's like, what haven't you done, Barry?
Gosh,
Well, what would you like to do that you haven't done?
I haven't played Tevye in Fiddler on the Roof.
Oh,
That's on my bucket list. I have played Muttle years ago when I was young enough to play Muttle, and I've played Laser Wolf, believe it or not. Now Laser, it's interesting. Laser is a butcher, and Tevye is a milkman. So they have rather large girths as a result of what they fed themselves. So they
you need
had me.
You need to pack on.
But thinner folks, my dear friend Adam Heller, who understudied me in Baby It's You when I was on Broadway with Beth Level, who played opposite me, or I played
Crazy
opposite
for
her.
You.
And so Adam, who by the way is engaged to Beth right now, we're similar body styles. He got to play Tevye. So I figured if Adam can do it, then so can I.
Oh, you pad you out.
Yes.
You'd be a great Tevye. But
Thank you.
Your first Broadway show was Bye Bye Birdie when you were like a teenager, right?
I was actually 11 years old.
Oh my gosh.
Bye Bye Birdie. I had come in to replace the original Randolph McAfee was Johnny Borden, who left to do a production called Milk and Honey with Molly Pecan. And they were looking for a replacement. That's a whole story, if I may. I was active as a kid. I was active in community theater in my hometown of Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and it started with a tap dancing class, a Miriam Menser's tap dancing class that my mother got me involved in.
Yeah.
That my family saw that I had a spark, so it became a hobby. And from there, I joined the Lancaster Little Theater and did a whole bunch of productions there. And at the age of 9, there was a production of Dark at the Top of the Stairs, William Saroyan, I believe it is, at the Fulton Opera House, which is now the Fulton Theater, one of the oldest theaters in the country. The Booths actually played the Fulton Theater back in the day.
Wow.
And they did this production, and there was an aspiring playwright from New York by the name of Charles E. Miller, Chuck Miller, who, in order to pay the rent, took a job running lights for this production in Lancaster. And he kind of took a liking to me and my mother. And he said to my mom, one of these days I'm going to get your son on Broadway. Well, 2 years later, he, being friends with the secretary of a gentleman named Edward Padula, who produced Bye Bye Birdie, found out from this guy, his name was Bob Fagan. Bob said, we're looking for a kid to replace Johnny Borden. Chuck says, I got just the kid. Called my mother that particular August of 1961. And said, I've arranged for an audition for your son, for Barry. Come on in. So we took a train into New York. I guess the following day, Chuck took me to the Lambs Club, which is kind of like the Friars Club, the Lambs Club down in the basement with a piano, and taught me the song "There's No Business Like Show Business." I mean, you know, if you write this, you'd send it back saying the story's too perfect. Do something else with it.
This is incredible.
And I went in the following day and sang "There's No Business Like Show Business" at the Schubert Theater for Gower Champion. And the next thing you know, I got the gig out of like 250 pro kids. And I was on, that was a Wednesday, they told my mom I'd be on by Monday. She went home to pack up some stuff. I stayed with Chuck in his Coldwater Railroad flat for the next couple of days until my mom came back in, and we stayed at the Belvedere Hotel, the famous Belvedere from 42nd Street.
Yes.
And, but they threw me on Saturday. My mom, may she rest in peace, missed my Broadway debut on Saturday. And the rest is history. So, and by the way, you know that Bye Bye Birdie was the first rock and roll musical when you think about it.
Yes, yeah.
And here, you know, being involved with Grease, it kind of bookended everything. So that began the professional career at age 11. I literally moved overnight from Lancaster, Pennsylvania to New York, and then stayed there, got enrolled in professional children's school, which is a school that catered to kids that were in the business or whose parents were in the business and traveled.
Yeah.
And you know, after that, Oliver was the next Broadway show that I'd done after that, and a couple of other things in television and commercials, and then graduated in '69 from PCS and went on to Carnegie Mellon University to graduate.
What was that like? What was Carnegie Mellon like? Well,
you know, first of all, there were 65 of us original classmates of '73, and only 4 of us graduated. It was a tough school. Tough school. And 4 from the original group. And I loved going to college. Just to grow up, to just be on
Yeah.
my own. And although I had a taste of that, certainly going out on the road, I had a professional career going. So like, unlike many who were coming from high school, from, you know, Podunk or wherever, to college, itching to get to New York, I was able to kind of indulge myself in that college experience. And then during the summers, I'd go back and do summer stock or films or TV, whatever, and then back to school. And
That's phenomenal.
so I was able to sort of concentrate. I wasn't the greatest student academically. And quite honestly, at the time, I always had suggested that academic drama was kind of for the birds. It's best to get your, you know, I should have been able to study language and history and psychology. But I wasn't strong academically. And I really urge folks that are going to college, you know, to round every single time I'd watch. It was fabulous.
Oh,
and
Barry, God bless you.
It was just so great. And the way you took me in, I mean, like we were texting earlier today, and sometimes you go back and you think, I wish I would have made more of those moments. You know, everything is always 20/20 in hindsight, you know.
I know.
And we were both going through some craziness at the time, and I wish that we were even closer and spent more time. I want to say that publicly. We would have spent more time together. Kind of started out that way, and things just kind of, you know, your
we're
life
on tour, life happens, but we got to work together, and just, you know, and I cherish that. I really do.
As do I.
Every moment, and you know that you're a huge part of my childhood, and I get very emotional thinking about seeing you on screen and then working with you and even talking to you today. I know you have so many fans here today, Barry, that you've really changed their lives.
I cherish them. I cherish each and every one of them. I may not know the majority of them, but knowing that they are there fills my heart.
They are, Barry.
And I speak for our entire Grease cast that share that sentiment. So thank you for following us all of these years. Thank you from the bottom of our greasy hearts.
Barry, I loved all your stories today. Just, you know, so many amazing stories. I think and then this Saturday, June 7th, is the CBS sing-along of Grease.
Yes, that's right. It'll be the first time I think they're going to broadcast it over the television airways.
Yes.
We've seen it in like Dee Dee hosts the Hollywood Bowl, and all around the country. I think even in the UK. Have you seen the sing along in the UK at all?
I don't know if they have it there, but CBS here on Sunday, June 7th, is a sing along. So
that's right. It's kind of like the Follow the Bouncing Ball, but it's much more sophisticated than a bouncing ball.
Yes.
You're going to love it. You'll be able to sing along and look at the lyrics at the same time. It's a great, great print. You'll really enjoy it.
So we'll be able to see you. We'll be able to see those little bloopers.
Yes.
And Joe Frost from England is saying hi to you.
Hi, Joan. Oh, yes, Joan. Hi. She's a buddy of mine.
Yes.
Nice to see. Nice to hear from you.
Emmanuel Batista, who used to teach.
That's right.
As well.
So Joey Travolta, which is one of John's older brothers, has a wonderful company called the Inclusion Film Company. We travel all across the country in the spring and summer, teaching film arts to the special needs community. And Emmanuel was one of my campers. This summer, of course, there's been a crimp in that. We may do the Livermore, California, and Pittsburgh camp, but we're not sure because of the COVID. But we miss you guys terribly, and we have a wonderful time every summer with all of you guys and gals, and we miss you terribly.
Oh, that's amazing that you do that, Barry. It's a really wonderful thing. I know I meant to talk to you about that, but we got we got right into Grease.
That's the Travolta family. The Travolta family.
Yeah, Joey Travolta. They do a beautiful
they all are cut out of this amazing, huge heart of a mold. The Travoltas, all of them. Margaret and Ellen, the sisters, Joey, Johnny, Sam, Annie. They're wonderful. It's a wonderful family. Truly come from love.
They are it's a great thing that you do to help kids with special needs with the arts and film. Really wonderful. Just shows your heart, Barry.
Thank you. It's great to be here, to have been here talking and sharing with you, Charlie. Hope we can do more.
Thank you, Barry. And thank you, everybody, for watching here today. Loads of love to you. Mwah. And I will see you soon. We go together like remember forever like we'll always be like one. Yeah. I love it, Barry.
Excellent,
You just made
Charlie.
my day.
Mine